How's it going? Thank you so much for tuning in to the John Campea Show. Best dang movie news show probably in the world. I've heard that said before. It seems to be true.
Not today.
I feel faxed, yeah. But that's not the show today. Today is a non-Campea show. John is still recovering. Thank you so much for all of you who have wished him well. We keep passing those messages along. Just to update you guys, he just had a little bit of an issue, had to go pop off to the ER, but he is back home recovering. No big deal. He is going to be right as rain in no time. In the meantime, though, you have your Batman Beyond crew.
You mean two? You mean two members?
Ray.
I dropped
Ray
out of
is
this
here.
crew.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so one of the viewers yesterday, Justin Smith. What's up, Justin? Thank you for that little message that you sent. He sent me this little reel of this new foodie place, this food place. It's called Sonic Speed Cafe. That's supposed to open.
Okay, hang on.
Or is
let
open.
me get my tablet. I'm going to take notes.
I'm sorry. Okay. So I have this, right? Y'all know, right? So I forward that video to Ann, to Chris, and Chris replies, "Oh, I charge my car there every day." So she's known about this place.
But I haven't gone in. It hasn't been open.
But she knew about this place.
But I digress.
And she never told me.
I'm a monster.
And she was like, so I'm going to put a poll up in the chat. It's going to be, is Chris a dick? And you guys say yes or no for not telling me.
Oh, man.
There's no third option?
No, that's it. I'm putting this poll up. Should I put it up?
Go ahead.
Put it up.
Put it up. All right. I'm going to put this in the chat real quick. Create a poll.
This could be the end of the BBC, guys. I don't know.
If anyone knows about BBC,
it's
going to be Chris Scott.
Anyways.
I am not the first to leave this
You know
group.
who else is here today?
You know who else is here? Jonathan Voico.
I'm here today.
Who's not mad at me?
Yeah,
I don't think.
I got my Burger Chief coffee.
Yes.
I've got my special orange juice.
We've
I'm
got
ready to
excellent
go.
orange drink today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great day.
I voted yes.
Why?
It just seemed funny.
I'm voting no.
What? Oh, wow. Come on, man. She didn't tell me about this food place.
It hasn't been open.
I work out of my outfits. That's what I do.
You work out of your outfits. How?
By getting bigger.
Okay. All right, now she's got a
all right,
strong
but anyways,
I promise you, we will go get ridiculous chili
seriously,
dogs.
if you guys live in the area, like
in
check
Chino
out
Hills.
this. Yeah, this video. They have a chili dog, and they just pour like onion strings all over it and barbecue sauce. It's
Barbecue
so healthy.
sauce.
You guys should go check it out. So the poll, oh man, they like
it's
you,
a landslide.
Chris.
It's 68 to 30.
I'm getting off this show right now.
No.
That's it.
Listen, the people have
I'm closing
spoken,
the
and I'm
poll.
not a dick.
I'm closing the poll. It's over.
All right.
Fine, fine.
I just ended the poll. It's a landslide victory for Chris.
Well, 68%. I mean,
That's a landslide.
This was a bigger turnout than our SAG vote, so I'm happy about it. This is great. Good for me. It's not all, you're not completely mad at me though, right?
No, I'm not.
Because we had a lovely chat about a beautiful story this morning.
yeah,
too.
we did. This is something I found just because like the news is kind of a little skinny today.
A little bit. But this was a really great, like, good heartstrings kind of story. And it's always nice to see those. So Baldur's Gate 3 is like the biggest game of the year.
biggest game right now.
one.
There's people who are playing it that I didn't even think were into the genre that are really playing this game. And
Closet Gators.
Yeah. So go ahead, Chris. Let's hear this.
I just made that up, by the way.
I like closet gators. I think that's a great term. So this beautiful, beautiful letter made its way to the folks who helped design the game, made the game. And there was this father and son who had been playing the game together. And the son wrote to the team there saying that, you know, he was a serious gamer and his dad had gotten into gaming. And it's something they used to do together to bond over.
From Baldur's Gate 2 to Divinity, Original Sin 1 and 2. So I wish I had like a video game that I played with my dad. But this obviously, this father and son relationship actually did that together, which is beautiful to me. I mean, two generations like doing something together is like very rare, like especially something like Baldur's Gate.
It's so cool when, you know, art, video games, movies can bring people together like that. Right. And so these two loved playing games together, and his dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Yep. And so he wrote to them talking about how it was so important for him to be able to play this before. He was so thankful for the early access release because he and his dad could play it while his dad had a bit more cognitive function and everything.
Right.
And it's really, really just a beautiful story that apparently just made everyone over there just at Larian Studios really, really felt emotional about it.
And they surprised the son, right?
Yeah.
By putting his dad in the game, in the final game that was just released.
So like for everyone to play, it's not like a new DLC. It's
no.
There.
You have to find him.
Okay.
They gave like a description of where to find him, but like the little house he's in, they said they put things in there that were like
mementos.
Yeah, meant something to the son at least.
Wow.
So they have this whole character built around him and this relationship, and I just think that's so beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when your relationship grows strong and you like there's a game studio that helped get it that way. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, and they didn't have to do any of that. They could have charged for DLC too. I'm so proud of this game. I meant that this game came out to show people that you could get an experience without making people keep paying and paying and paying, which is a problem a lot of people have with games these days. It's like, we don't have enough money. A $60 game, if it's going to be $60, just charge $60.
Yeah.
If in the end it ends up being $200, then upfront just charge $200.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's the DLC where it's a few years later they almost release content that's as big as the game.
That's different.
It's like a whole a new chapter of the game. But I know what you mean, like it's like
giving you a disc that's 30% of the game. You're buying a disc that's 30% of the game, really.
And you can't really advance unless you buy.
Yeah.
Then that's stupid.
It's a tactic. I get it. I know they need money. Game studios always feel that they don't make enough money, but
anyone want to explain what Jacob Welbs, what BBC is, other than British Broadcasting?
Oh, the Batman Beyond crew. That's us. That's the only other thing it could possibly mean. It could mean nothing else, Jacob.
Yeah,
he's why are we Batman Beyond?
Nothing
I don't
terrifying.
even understand.
We don't really know why we're the Batman Beyond
because
crew,
we have
it's
advocated
we like
for
it.
Batman Beyond to become a movie, and John has insisted that we don't get what we want.
Yeah.
And now we are the Batman Beyond
and that
crew.
makes us, and together we are all now bonded.
Yeah.
Well, we can also be the Young Avengers crew.
That's true.
Yeah.
For a while, we could have been the One Piece crew. We could have been the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
You know, we are. We're the BBC One Piece, Young Avengers.
No,
none of us are really.
John's on board with
That's
One
true.
Piece
We
now.
can't do that one now.
Yeah, okay.
We'd be on the adult Avengers.
But yeah, shout out to Larian Studios, and I hope the son and the father get as much time as they can get.
Yeah, I hope so too. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention, Ray, because I think that story is absolutely beautiful. Now, on to some other stories for today. Actually, this one really was yesterday. This happened while we were doing the show, so we didn't get to talk to you guys about that epic Echo trailer. While we were talking about is Netflix's Daredevil canon or not, this came out. And oh boy, do I have egg on my face.
You guys are laughing, but not the same reason I'm laughing.
What are you
I'm
laughing?
laughing because I realized I forgot to watch the trailer.
Well, you can watch it silently while we watch it.
You were still hate watching Sonic Cafe videos, muttering about what a dick I am.
All right.
This trailer, though, is really fantastic, and it does absolutely cement, hey, these things were canon. It has
all of it.
So much of it in there.
Yeah, so not just, as we see here, like, this is from Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Okay, his origin,
making the White Rabbit painting.
Yeah, and then this was interesting. This is the door scene in Daredevil. The scene right after this, I guess I never caught it. I thought he just crushed him to death. Mm-hmm. But in this trailer, unless it's new footage, the body slumps over and there's no head. So I didn't realize he decapitated the guy with the door.
I didn't notice that in the original watch.
Oh my God, that's Baby Kingpin.
But anyway, and then we get Daredevil. Mm-hmm. And I love how these shots are black and white, but then they're like colorized on Daredevil or an explosion or blood.
Yeah, it's got a very Frank
and
Miller vibe.
Red is colorized.
It's very Sin City.
So it is linking Daredevil, the original OG Daredevil, with that, and also with the Kingpin that we see in Hawkeye, Hawaiian shirt, Kingpin.
So they are one and the same.
Yeah,
this is the same Kingpin.
So that links all of that together. I still hold to the ish. Because the tone is different amongst all the different iterations. But I guess if you still want to say that's that, and you really are saying that the events happen, then fine.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I think most of what this was was, I don't think it's a, hey, get ready, we're going to have so much Daredevil in this, we're going to have so much
Yeah,
Charlie
no.
Cox in this. I think it's also a, hey, remember that gritty, violent show from Netflix?
Yeah. Look what we got.
We're going to do that again. We're going to do that. And that's just making sure that all kind of your qualms you could have about this show about tone, hey, we're going to have it live in that kind of universe. And things still can get wacky and weird and goofy, right? We've had so many characters who are able to pop into an Avengers film and then do something a bit more lighthearted.
Sure.
So I think it can work. I'm just interested to see how everything pans out. This definitely, I know that John wasn't particularly excited about this show, and his tune changed a little bit when that trailer came out. This is one I've always been really happy about, and especially because I knew some stuff was happening behind the scenes.
Sure.
I really just wanted it to get its stuff together and work out well, and so far it looks good to me.
Yeah.
Plus those reviews.
There's a little bit of fool's gold in here, right? A little bit, because I'm happy to see a lot of shots with Daredevil, but
Yeah.
part of me thinks that's just one episode. He's
Yeah,
short,
1 of 5 though. It's 20%.
and he's not
but-
spread throughout.
No,
you know?
probably not.
So it's kind of like fool's gold, but I do dig the trailer. I love the explosions colored and then everything else black and white. I love that effect that they used here. I like this actress. Like, she keeps a stoic face while doing something brutal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is it's a scary thing to like think that someone cannot show emotion in their face while they're breaking someone's neck. It's just great. I like characters if done right. That's great. I'm looking forward to learning more about this character. I know she only has one leg. She's deaf. That's very intriguing to see her get over not only the humps that she has to face within herself, but do what she's obviously on a mission to
Yeah.
do something. So it's going to be interesting. The first MA Marvel series, right? We
Yeah,
could see it already in the trailer.
Set your Set your Disney Plus
Set
to
your
MA
Disney
so you can
Plus.
see.
Make sure that you have that setting on there.
Unfortunately, I have to go to
watch.
Campea Plus for this because
Yeah.
Hulu is a little
You will.
expensive for me.
Well, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus or whatever
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is now.
But it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we talked about yesterday. I think someone made a super chat or whatever. By the way, super chats are on. About our too many trailers. What's the number that turns you off or whatever? And it just kind of depends on what they're showcasing. But these are character trailers. These aren't story trailers.
Yes.
And these keep getting me more like hyped for the show.
Oh, for sure. Especially because to Ray's point too, and to yours, it's really challenging to convey emotion in a single shot, right? It's really challenging to have a very nuanced, layered emotion when you are committing an act of atrocious violence, when you are reacting to atrocious violence. And this actor, like, she is killing it in every frame she's in. You can see such a story being told, and it already is one of those things of, oh, I feel like usually I'm upset about the limited episodes. 5 episodes, I bet we're doing some really interesting stuff here.
Kingpin kind of pulls that in a certain way too, where he does things where he's not showing any sympathy or for his victim or whatever. So maybe they are a match, as in like I want to see them go at each
Well,
other.
it's one of those things like, Joker will say to Batman, like, you're just like me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just not admitting to it or whatever.
And so, do we know when this drops? Did they give
In
us a
about
day?
in 4 days, I think.
Oh,
4 days
all
from now.
right.
So
It's time to get an MA.
make sure you're tuned in. But guys, we are so glad we got to finally talk to you about this. But let us know what your thoughts are about Echo. Maybe you aren't as enamored with this as we are. Are you super stoked to see Daredevil in the mix there? Do you think it's all fool's gold, like Ray's saying? Let us know how you feel about it.
And is Chris a dick?
And am I a dick?
Well, it was a landslide victory.
That's gonna be
in
the
her
end
favor.
for every single topic today. Give us your thoughts, and remember, I won in that poll.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, on to something a little more serious, a little more technical, if you will. So Disney and AI shareholders are going to get the chance to vote on AI proposals because they were going to try to table the issue, but that the SEC made sure that they are not skipping over this one. So basically,
Gotcha.
it's a very big
Yeah.
gotcha moment. Basically, all that is to say, all these shareholders were planning on meeting and not taking any votes or talking about AI because that wasn't to do with ordinary business practices. That didn't have to do with your day-to-day. Well, the SEC did not agree with that. They did not agree at all. So, AI technology, this is from Deadline, by the way, has become a central issue for Hollywood, factoring prominently in dual strikes last year by the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. Publishers and the other owners of intellectual property have also raised alarms over the rise of AI. The New York Times last week filed a lawsuit against OpenAI for copyright infringement. So this is affecting tons of people, right? Shareholder proposals urging closer scrutiny for AI were filed by a pension trust of the AFL-CIO, the Labor Union Federation. The WGA is among the 60 U.S. and international guilds that are part of the AFL-CIO Federation, which represents a total of 12.5 million union members. The companies had argued that the proposal would be excluded from the shareholder meeting agenda, and obviously that is not the case now.
Yeah.
So I completely understand why the SEC is saying, no, you guys should talk about this. This is something that definitely needs to be on the table.
It's a massive story, and it has massive ramifications for the business going
Absolutely.
forward. What this reads to me is the shareholders have the strikers back.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes down to it, you're seeing, the various actors, and I don't mean like actors profession, but the actors in this situation, while this was all going on during the summer,
Mm-hmm.
the back and forth, the whole time the shareholders had their own opinions on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the people that actually own the company, the owners, they're having a say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's great because, they're basically, I think it solidifies and will solidify going forward the AI issue that still is kind of out there for SAG,
Well,
So
super for us because the union would not define what an actor is like the WGA and the DGA did.
well, and they
which
agreed
was
to terms
foolish.
like, we'll keep talking about this until the next contract's up, so we more fully understand it. And I think the shareholders are saying, well, we better figure this out now.
That's what I
because
hope.
because if I'm an owner, and I have been an owner of both, I'm not now, but I have been an owner of both,
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to know because this created a massive strike that affected my business.
Yeah.
So we actually need to figure this out. You
and
can't
it's
just skirt
continue
this.
to affect your business,
Yeah.
as we're going to talk about later.
It also tells me that how difficult this topic is to actually find your side on. I mean, really, there's like for them to try to avoid this vote, they tried to avoid it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to talk about it right now. They're still trying to figure things out. It's like they asked to use the restroom during the SATs or something.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
This will have ramifications, obviously, for now when WBD quarterly earnings report comes up and they have their shareholder meetings.
Yeah.
Obviously, Amusement Inc., who owns Paramount, Netflix. It's not just these two.
No, this is going to be something that we're going to see rippled throughout.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the other other companies, I should say rather, are probably having these same meetings, probably having these same discussions and everything already. What it makes me think of too, though, because it is such a complicated issue, right, of the ordinary day-to-day practice. It's kind of what happened with us with SAG is, well, you guys don't need to see that AI contract because it's all a bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo and tech stuff that you're not going to understand, which one is insulting, and two, like,
That tells me they don't understand
yeah,
it either.
and some of it is, well, some of us might not understand. We also have business managers and lawyers who we pay money to help us understand things, So I feel like these are conversations that need to be had and need to be done in layman's terms, because if you are the people in power, you have to understand how AI is working. Is AI an amazing tool? Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing things we can do with it. And I'm a forwards ever, backwards never kind of person, right? Progress is amazing. But if it's at the detriment to people's own intellectual property, their own likeness, their own ideas, that's a very, very scary thing. I've seen Minority Report. I've watched The Matrix. I don't like it. I mean, I like those movies. I don't like the land.
Yeah.
There was some story on Kotaku that I was reading about an AI art generator, I believe, which was taking most of its ideas from Magic the Gathering cards. So I just read the headline. I think that's what it read. So AI is becoming more and more a part of our lives, whether we like it or not, and it's going to be here to stay, I think, in the future.
Well, it's coming to gaming too,
We
and
just
there
gotta-
are positive uses of AI for sure. In the medical field, it's great for gaming. It's great for even just I get it for getting ideas like a spark, but it can't be your main thrust of like your narrative. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Or else we'll just stay stagnant if we
Yeah.
just keep relying
well,
on
and
what's...
it doesn't make sense if you read some of this stuff. There's like, this was written by a robot that has no feelings. It doesn't. It's just writing what it's seen before, and it thinks it's what we like.
It pulls from what's pre-existing, and that also typically means then that we're getting the same kind of base stories that we've gotten in the past. So it is things that are typically from a perspective that isn't that dynamic or universal.
And if anyone's watched one of the latest South Park episodes that was actually all written by AI, they made it a point that it was written by AI. It was a great episode, but it was great because it was stupid. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. Some of the things didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it was so funny, and that's why it hit with me. So.
Oh yeah, I'll read a Hallmark script written by an AI bot any old day because it's just like she wants to marry a Christmas tree, but he's a big city lawyer.
I will tell you where it did work for me, and
Yeah.
I hate to say it, is there's eBay. If you're selling something, it'll say, would you want eBay to describe your product for you? And I said, okay, let's try this. And it did, and I said, I'm keeping this because it speaks better English than I would ever do, or writes better English than I would ever do. So it worked for me there.
Yeah.
But you know what? It didn't hurt no one. It's going to get me, hopefully, my thing sold. I don't know.
Here's hoping. See, so that's where AI can be great. But man, let us know how you feel about this, though, you guys. Is this something that you do think shareholders should be voting on? Is this something that you think we should leave it to the professionals who know about it and the SEC is being a little overdramatic here? No wrong answers, just your own opinion. So let us know in the comments down below. All right, we've got a few more things to talk about, y'all. But before we get to those, we are going to take a quick break to hear from the sponsor of this show, the good folks over at Mint Mobile.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
And thank you to the folks over at Mint Mobile for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, folks, we have some really great movie news. The BAFTA Awards Longlist is out.
Whoa, yeah.
All right.
What is BAFTA?
So BAFTAs are the British Film Awards. They're
like the
fantastic.
British Oscars.
Yes. They're super, super fun. It encompasses film and television, so it's a lot of BBC kind of TV and everything too, proper BBC. And it's always a really great show.
Televised?
Televised. This
Okay.
year, it is hosted by David Tennant.
Okay.
The 10th Doctor, Scotland's Gift to All of Us, Kilgrave. Oh my gosh. Hi.
Oh, wow.
I love him so much.
Moment of silence for
I
Chris.
know. I have a type, and it's lanky gentlemen like this. I think Logan looks like him.
I was gonna say he kind of looks like Logan.
Yeah, that was a big selling point in when I first started dating him. I was like, oh, he looks like the doctor I like.
He's like, but you don't quite look like
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
He was sweet and told me I looked like Jenna Coleman, who was one of the companions. And she's very cute and petite, and I appreciated that. But more importantly than David Tennant being a dreamboat, we've got this long list. So these are the films that are in consideration for being nominated for the BAFTAs. And why this is important for movie news in general, one, all awards, except for the Golden Globes, are worth us talking about. And these lists usually help us kind of fine tune who is all going to get nominated, especially for, you know, the ultimate one that we love to talk about on the show, the Oscars. So this is kind of us getting that baseline of who we think is going to get nominated.
Which one was the one that just passed? I think it was the first one of the season that just passed. Was it the national award?
Was it
Which one is the one that just I forgot because these go in a certain order, right? Every year, like
There is
the
a cycle.
BAFTAs and then like the
But they are kind of messed up this year because of the
Right.
strike, because certain things have gotten kind of shimmied around too.
Okay.
Not the BAFTAs, because the UK is under
Yeah.
a different labor law, so their stuff is not all wonky because
Okay,
no
well,
one struck.
But you get like
Nonetheless.
the PGA awards, you get the SAG awards, you got all these kind of
DGA.
Yeah.
All of those guys. So we're going to do a run through of these with you guys and
All
let
right.
you know who's up.
So I've got best film up here.
Best film. So we've got All of Us Strangers, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So there's a couple on here that are new to me. Have you guys seen most of these?
Look here.
Well,
Thi-
go ahead.
Okay, I love the award lists because that actually gets
It inspires you to.
to see
Yeah.
the movies that like I keep hearing about throughout the year that may not be my genre, but I think I need to watch Past Lives, and there's one I still need to watch Killers of the Flower Moon, which
Same.
our friend here Scott he messaged
married
us
to
that
Lily.
messaged us that the Killers of the Flower Moon is supposed to be on Apple TV Plus pretty soon.
Yeah, it's got a
that's
release
great.
date.
It's got a release date, so I need to see that. But Past Lives is the one that I hear a lot about.
Yeah,
and
that's gotten a lot of hype.
It's so far from what I usually watch that I think I'm gonna watch it.
So has the Zone of Interest. The article also brought out that they feel like the Zone of Interest could pull like a All Quiet on the Western Front from last year.
Ooh, that would be very interesting because that's one that I am not familiar with
Yeah,
in
me either.
any way.
So I haven't seen Maestro yet.
Okay.
That's streaming.
That's
I
my
ha-
plan for tonight, actually, is watching
Oh,
that.
Yeah, I've seen obviously Barbie as Oppenheimer. I saw Poor Things. Poor Things was very interesting.
Okay, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
It's not playing at any theaters near me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why no? It's got.
Well,
Is it not playing at AMC?
Well, it's
anymore?
not. It's not a Regal one.
But
that's my
Burbank
issue.
is not that far from North Hollywood.
I know. I'm
Hey,
not
hey,
pissed.
hey,
Come on.
Don't press
so
the lady.
cheap.
Don't press the
Okay.
lady.
All right.
Hey, you're pushing your
I forget
movie
she won
theaters
that
on her?
vote, so we
I
gotta
won that vote.
we gotta back off.
I'm infallible.
But Poor Things, I still need to see Zone of Interest,
Mm-hmm.
and I am trying to see The Holdovers maybe this week.
I do
Because
want
I
to see
love
the
that it's
Holdovers.
still in theaters, which
Yes.
we'll talk about why that's still in theaters a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a strong list.
It's a
we
great
we were
list.
saying what it's down to 6 categories, so these
Yeah.
10 have to whittle
They'll
down to
whittle
6.
down to 6 films.
All right.
Past Lives, I highly recommend. It's a really, really great character study. It's a beautiful story too about
Korean
like
film or
dual language.
Okay.
So the majority of it is in Korean.
All right.
But it's a really great story just about the duality of how you have to live too. And as somebody who, immigrated to this country, and in this case too, immigrated to 2 different countries, went from Canada to New York, really beautifully told. But it's a really good character-driven movie. It's not something that is going to be a heavy plot-driven, action-packed thing. It's a really great study. And
We're getting a Korean movie every year for being like that's at least in the buzz for
yeah,
something.
for a
Yes.
best film of some. Yeah.
It shows the progression in film. Like I think they're progressing faster than most places. Like they're making at least something a year that everyone's talking about.
That it's crossing the borders like a
Yeah.
lot more.
I like
Did they
this-
forget anything on that list, you guys?
There's nothing really on here that I'm jumping out at for a best picture kind of situation. This seems like a really solid list to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy
Because
with it.
you've got the 2 standards, right? You've got the Oppenheimer and the Barbie in there,
Yeah,
because those things have been talked about the most. Killers
Yeah.
of the Flower
You've got
Moon,
your
obviously.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
and then you have.
But then I love that you've got your Holdovers, your indie in there.
Yeah.
You get your streaming, your Netflix movie in there.
Past Lives hits indie again.
Poor Things is great.
So weird.
Now, this is the weird thing because Poor Things is in a couple categories. We can move forward whenever
Yeah.
you want, but I'm going to keep Poor Things in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And All
let's-
of Us Strangers, I do want to talk about, does look incredibly, incredibly interesting. I'm very excited about
I've
that
never heard
one.
of it.
It's with. Did you ever watch Sherlock?
No.
Okay, the guy who played Moriarty is on that. Fleabag, he was the hot priest on it. He's the lead in this, and it looks like it's going to be a very emotional film
Okay.
of being able to connect with his parents who have passed and getting to interact with them as an adult when they passed when he was a child.
So is he talking to ghosts or something? That's what it looks
it's
like.
kind of hard to glean from the trailer.
Oh,
If
okay.
it's like he has the opportunity, if this is in his head. I'm excited to see it though. I've tried to make a point to read as little as possible about it after I saw that initial trailer because I want to go in and just take it for
because
what
they're
it
trying
is.
to keep it a mystery, obviously.
Yeah.
From the trailer.
And the other actor in it too, who's the other co-lead, Paul Mescal, obviously has been blowing up. Was nominated last year. Is going to be in the new Gladiator, so that's definitely one to watch too.
Okay.
Outstanding British film, getting very, very specific here.
Yeah.
All of Us Strangers, like I just brought up. Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget. I didn't know that there was a new Chicken
There
Run.
Oh
is.
yeah, and
And
apparently it's nominated for Best British Film.
And isn't it on Netflix, I think?
Could
Oh
be
my
now. I'm not
gosh.
sure.
I am so hyped
gotta
about
see it.
this. And this, I'll be honest, folks, this is a list too that I need to familiarize myself with more. So we've got that Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget, The Deepest Breath, The Great Escape, How to Have Sex, Napoleon, The Old Oak, One Life, Poor Things Again, Rye Lane, Saltburn, Scrapper, Tetris, Wonka, The Zone of Interest.
Huge. So these 15 have to go down to 6.
No, whittle down
They're
to 6
scrapping
again.
2/3 of this, basically.
Yes.
What's interesting here is two things. Okay, one, that there's crossover because Poor Things is in Best Film and Outstanding British Film.
Yes.
But also, it's kind of an inverse of how we do it here, where we'll say Best Film, Best Foreign Film.
Yep.
They say Best Film for foreign and British specifically for British.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you could win not only Best Overall Film, but also
But the
British
best
Film.
British one, yeah. Anyone on here? Are you guys familiar with any of these? Saltburn and Tetris and Wonka are the only ones that really jump out.
Yeah.
Oh, Napoleon. I guess that's surprising to some people that it's not
In a
on the
way,
main
but I
list,
mean-
but
Yeah.
I didn't see a majority of them, so all I could say is the ones I did see
Did you
on
see
that
Tetris?
list are great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Tetris. What a cool.
It was
What
interesting.
a cool like info. Like there's things about Tetris that I had no idea.
Salt. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say Saltburn's on my list too, but I actually can stream it, so I guess I'm not gonna go see it in theaters.
I'm
But
planning on
here's the
streaming
thing:
it.
because these indie films only go for so long, it was like, do I see the Holdovers or Saltburn? And now that I can see Saltburn streaming, I'm definitely do Holdovers
Yeah.
in theater.
well, and holdovers, I feel like I have a better shot at enjoying.
Yeah.
Saltburn was pitched to me by everyone, including our dear sweet baby Taylor Gonzalez, who was like, "Okay, it's Call Me by Your Name meets Talented Mr. Ripley, and I don't think I liked it, but I can't stop thinking about it."
Yeah.
And,
And see, here's the thing: I just saw Poor Things, and I don't want that to be the next thing again. Like,
You
I
need
need a
something
little
in
bit of
between.
a
You need a
hold-
palate
yeah.
cleanser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Paul Giamatti for that.
exactly,
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's so wonderful.
Okay,
And
so
is
that's
that pretty much
that,
our
and then we
list?
got
Okay.
yeah.
these are the British writers, director, or producer. So that's interesting too, because wouldn't the producer
Oh.
still be under? Oh, sorry,
No worries.
under best film. But I
You
guess
would
not.
think so. The way they do their categories, yeah, is very different, and it's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then goes down to documentary.
Animated film, The Boy and the Heron. There we go.
Animated
Yeah,
film. Let's
see-
go with the animated film.
Okay,
let's
so-
read those.
So the animated film. Go ahead and read them.
So we've got The Boy and the Heron, obviously from Studio Ghibli, Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, Elemental from Disney, Nimona, that was a Netflix release,
Across the Spider.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and Wish.
There you go. You can stop now reading them.
I don't know that Wish is going to win that. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I
but-
don't think so either. Wish.
Again, interesting because see,
like
they've
it.
got Chicken Run in animated and best
And
British.
Best British.
So you get a good chance of winning a film in this, winning an award in this.
I don't think I can convey how excited I am to watch this Dawn of the Nugget movie.
Yeah, me too. I am
God.
so excited to see it. But here, story-wise, it's Spider-Verse or probably The Boy and the Heron. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I hear, I haven't seen it. But if we're talking about art style, I can't not leave my boys out. Because no matter how you want to spin it, like some people try to spin it, they bit off something, this and that. It was a great.
Yeah,
I
I had a
love
lot
the
of fun
rough
in it.
sketching on that. That effect they did where it felt like it came off someone's fresh page of art. I really, really thought that was unique. It worked for the movie. So if we're gonna base it based on just animation style itself, Mutant Mayhem needs to be in those things for me at least. But story wise, it's got to be Spider-Verse or
I would think it's probably Spider-Verse. Mutant Mayhem is the most fun I've had at a theater this year. I had such a blast watching that movie. And I saw it in 4DX and I didn't hate it. It was great.
it was short. It was good. I mean,
Yeah,
come on. So
fun.
props to all these films. I haven't seen most of them again, but
Do you guys think this is pretty much on par for what we're going to keep seeing throughout awards season when it comes
Yes.
to all the others? Yeah?
I'm not sure about Wish. I like from people that I've heard talk about Wish. It's not really their.
I don't know about animated. I don't think that'll be, but I think we're going to see a lot of, in terms of indie, we're going to see a lot of Poor Things and Holdovers.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and I think we're going to see a lot of maybe not Zone of Interest, but we're definitely going to see what was the
All of Us Strangers?
or
what was Past Lives?
Past Lives.
Oh, Past Lives, definitely. Yeah. I feel like the Hollywood roundtables are also a really good indicator, too, of who's going to get the acting nomination.
This is directors.
Ooh,
here.
okay.
So again, a lot of American Fiction does get pulled here. American Fiction isn't mentioned anywhere else. That was a great movie.
That's exciting to see them on here.
So the director of
But
American
a lot
Fiction?
of crossovers. It's almost the same across the board. I'm sure screenplay. Now screenplay again. Air finally gets mentioned in here. I loved Air. That was
Air
in
was
my,
really good.
in my top 10.
Yeah.
Maybe even higher up.
You know what's real crazy about Air is that the night, I think last night or the night before, I was watching like sneaker shopping with some, I forgot who it was, some actor. Anyways, as soon as I turned that on, I was like, I turned on Air right after that because I was like, I really like this movie more than I thought I did.
Great direction. I mean,
It's just such a yeah, we got it. Like, you know, like working so hard for a goal and then getting it in the end, getting like, you know, it's just a very interesting film. I really like the film.
there's not a scene in it where, I mean, it's not action packed. It's a story of Jordan and the Air Jordan, but there's not a scene where I'm not like entertained, or find it interesting.
Obviously, Matt Damon, baby.
But he wasn't even a
freaking
stand up for me. I mean, he did what Matt Damon does, which is great. But for me, the standouts were actually, oh my gosh, why am I going? Jason Bateman, and for as small of a role as it was,
the sneaker guy, the designer.
Well, he was great, but as for as small of a role as it was, Wayne's. Marlon.
Yeah,
he had a
Marlon's
very
great.
pivotal moment in Matt Damon's character's like decision.
Yeah.
And I thought he killed that scene.
Well, and that whole story, is so well done.
Yeah.
And it could have been so over the top and heavy handed. And he handled it so well, just casually having his drink, talking about Martin Luther King.
Like I said, that's why I could never create a top 10 for this past year. It's just so hard for me to figure out what goes in there.
Good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for movies. 2023 was good for movies.
So before we move on, we should go over at least our leading actress and leading actor.
And then
For
we
sure.
can go on.
So here's leading actress.
So we've got Annette Bening for Naiad, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Emma Stone for Poor Things, Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple, which has been doing very well at the box office.
Haven't seen it yet.
Me neither. I need to get there. Greta Lee for Past Lives, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Margot Robbie for Barbie, Mia McKenna Bruce for How to Have Sex, Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall, and Vivian Opera from Rye Lane.
I think okay, I'm not going to say that Lily Gladstone wins it all because this is the long list and they got to whittle it down, but I think Lily Gladstone makes it to the top 6.
Oh, absolutely.
Emma Stone could actually win the whole
Stone,
thing.
I think, will probably take this.
She could win the whole thing.
From what I've heard about Poor Things, that she's just incredible in it. So I would love that.
And then we
love
got
her.
our leading actors.
For actors, we've got Andrew Scott, All of Us Strangers, Barry Keoghan from Saltburn, Bradley Cooper from Maestro, Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer, Coleman Domingo from Rustin. Hearing huge, great things about this film, particularly his performance. George McKay for Femme, Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and Tao Yu from Past Lives.
What are we thinking?
I can't say it.
Ooh.
I bet you. I'm thinking DiCaprio makes it to the final 6. I
He'll
think
make it.
Giamatti
He'll make it.
and
Giamatti will
TOU.
make
Cillian.
Cillian, I think. Coleman Domingo has had a big push. I could see that
I
happen.
And
would
maybe
like to see
Bradley
Giamatti
Cooper.
win it though. Giamatti, I would like that guy.
It's hard
but
to
I
say.
haven't seen
There
the
could-
movie, so I can't really judge.
There could be some dark horses on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say the favorite is probably Cillian
Yeah.
to win.
Really?
This is the BAFTAs after all.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
and that's not necessarily my personal opinion. I just think he's the favorite. But that doesn't mean it couldn't be any of these. So.
Yeah. Or Andrew Scott could take it too. He's a BAFTA darling as well. So we could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think about all these folks who are on the long list for the BAFTAs. Do you think this is a great way to predict who is going to be in the running all of award season? Are there people on here you disagree with, people you think you should be on here, films that are missing? You let us know your thoughts. All right? And with all that in mind, we've got a kind of big encompassing topic now. And this was a great article prompting this discussion from The Hollywood Reporter. Box office, existential crisis ahead as Hollywood rethinks what makes a hit. This is such a fabulous read, you guys. Please go read this article from Pamela McClintock. It is so, so good. I'm a big fan of it. And basically what we're talking about here is that the 2023 box office had a lot of surprises for many people.
It was weird.
Many people, including somebody whose name is on this show, did not think, Super Mario Brothers or Barbie were going to be our biggest films. I'm a person who did not think Barbie would have been the biggest film of the year. And here we are.
It was a record-breaking year for the box office, and yet it's a dichotomy because we look at so many flops, and those flops, normally we hang on the negativity, and a lot of those were tent poles that flopped. And yet here we are with a record-breaking box office year. So we were carried by a very small, group of films.
Exactly. And what this article does so well is it points out how typically what's been a banger at the box office, superhero fare, has really fizzled. And we can't rely on these old existing existing IPs or tentpole kind of things. Audiences wanted to be challenged or see something new or see something nostalgic in a different way.
Yeah, and that's not to say that we still didn't see some big franchises get on the top 10.
Sure.
Fast X, Guardians. I could speak for Guardians, and I say it deserves to be in that because it was one of my favorite movies.
Sure.
Fast X, it was probably more of their history and their appeal overseas that actually got them where they're at. I know that one was a disappointment still, even as much money. They thought it'd probably make more.
Yeah. Well, because of their budget.
Right.
It was out of control.
I mean, even Mission Impossible was on the top, and that was considered a flop. So in the top 10 at least.
A lot of people you can see, I have it up here. Little Mermaid made number 7.
Yeah.
At first everyone was like, oh, this is going to flop, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I do, this article does say, it does call out superhero fatigue.
Yes.
I don't believe that. I actually wholeheartedly agree with John on that. That is not superhero fatigue. It's the fact that our superhero movies have gone back to basic.
Yep. It's mediocrity fatigue.
Yeah, whereas the other films that were like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, et cetera, they didn't flop. They were massive.
And
people loved them. People still talk about them.
And the thing, two things to point out, props to Little Mermaid and Elemental. They were like the slow burners. They were like the ones that first week, it's a flop. But then and that could have something to do with the movies that surrounded them being so bad that people are like, I want to see something at least decent. Yeah. I mean, it's, for me, or maybe probably many people, it's hard to pull out $20 from your wallet to go see a movie these days.
Yeah.
People are getting very picky. And
if there's going to be plot holes throughout, it's just like,
And I'm going ahead of myself here because I know we're going to get to that part, but there's Christmas time. It might have been a bad time for Christmas movies this year, just because people don't have that much money. I mean, Christmas is an expensive month for a lot of people, and the last thing people are going to think about doing is forking over $20.
Well, they're going to be picking on what they see.
Yeah. You're going to be a very, very conscious consumer. You're also not going to do a lot of the stuff you usually do at a movie theater too, right? You might, if you're only going to see one movie this month, you're maybe not going to the concessions. You're maybe not doing all those other things. Or if you're seeing multiple movies a month, you're definitely not doing the others.
And we do see this comparison, this year-to-year comparison, 22, 23.
And
audiences are coming back.
Yeah, audiences are coming back. We crossed over the $9 billion mark domestically, which is fabulous. It's so great to pass that hurdle. Post-COVID, post-strikes, What's interesting, too, is 2024 is going to be a very lean year. It's going to be a very lean year for films because we had months of no productions happening.
Right, so everything got pushed.
Marvel's only giving us one film. We're only getting Deadpool 3 from them. So it is going to be a leaner, choosier kind of thing. So that brings to mind then, okay, who do you release? Who do you put on streaming? What are the movies that we're going to really do a hard push on? Because, again, Super Mario Brothers and Barbie. Oppenheimer with Barbie. You can't have that lightning in a bottle again.
And there's things that are happening which folks have predicted that it's like what streaming, for example. I think that affects. I know John doesn't think. I think he doesn't agree with me on this, but I believe the streaming thing does affect people's decision to go see a movie or not sometimes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, I just said
Especially-
it just now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Saltburn's already streaming, so I'm going to go see
Yeah.
The Holdovers.
Especially counteracting with the amount of money to take. Let's say, oh, should I take my kids to go see Sonic 3? Oh no, we already got them streaming. They're streaming stuff. We'll wait for it to hit, and
Yeah.
they won't go see. I that's gonna be something that they're gonna have to figure out, if you can figure it out. Everyone's tendencies are different. Some days I feel like going to a movie theater, some days I don't. You know, there's some movies I feel like going to the theater for, and some I will not go to. Killers of the Flower Moon, I'm sorry, Mr. Scorsese, I know you're like the GOAT of things, but that's just a movie where I saw the duration, and I'm like, I cannot appreciate this movie in a theater.
I refuse. I'm going to leave twice. I'm going to go pee twice.
And also the atmosphere of a theater, I like looking around, seeing what's going on, hearing things, and that's a movie that I want intimate, where
Sure.
I'm taking it all in and like appreciating the message or whatever it's giving me at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, that's just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably a lot of people that are like that.
Well, sure, because the box office showed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these are things that Hollywood needs to take into account, and hopefully they can find a balance where everyone's like, that's what I'm saying. It's really hard. There's so
Yeah.
many aspects that affect the box office.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually leads to the second part here under specialty movies, right? Indie films. We look at indie films have actually done fairly well. Asteroid City, surprisingly, was the top box
I
office
still want to see
grosser.
that.
You can stream it now.
Yeah.
But followed by Priscilla. Holdovers is fairly recent, and yet it's at 18 million.
Yeah.
It's great. Dumb Money, I wish had done double that, like
Yeah.
20,
Same.
25 million. Bottoms was also got a lot of
Bottoms is hilarious.
accolades.
I
Yeah.
gotta see that. Too.
Oh,
Poor Things is still in theaters, so you know. But the point of this is that it's the way they're releasing these films. So they're releasing them in a way that harkens back to the past of how they used to do it. L.A., New York, maybe Chicago, and then they go a little wider,
yeah.
and then they hope that they can just keep these movies in for months. Well, they can't really keep them in for months anymore. They can extend it, but not the way they did before. But what they can do is they can do the get the hype at the events, right?
Oh,
like
yeah,
TIFF
like all
and
the
whatever.
festivals.
The festivals. Open up a small, okay? And then after a couple of weeks, they're going wide, which is what they did for the Holdovers. They did it for Asteroid City. They did it for Poor Things. And then they can hold that there for a while. And the point is that if you go wide, it's in everyone's face, and it's relatively cheap advertising. And then you go VOD, and people are like, "Oh, I just missed it, but I just
Yeah.
saw that
But
in
I can go see
theaters,
it
so
now."
now I'm going to go catch it." And it seems to be working. So
Yeah.
they're using the release as a marketing tool for VOD now for these smaller films.
Oh,
I think that's great.
absolutely. I completely agree. My favorite line from this article is, "The sure bets are no longer sure bets. We're living in a parallel universe."
Yeah.
So, kind of with that in mind, like what is our takeaway for 2024, right? Because the thing for me is, we shouldn't underestimate the power of nostalgia done well, right? Mario and being iconically how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
We shouldn't underestimate things that are perceived to be female audiences, because Barbie struck a chord with all genders,
Uh-huh.
right? And then diverse storytelling has been doing so well too. So I feel like all of the kind of things that people have been saying you can't do or shouldn't do, 2023 was just like, nah.
It's attracting to younger audiences, and the article touches on that too. That younger audiences are looking for, especially like in aging now Gen Z, they're starting to be like, oh well, I want to experience like different things in cinema, not just like your typical tentpole.
I
mean,
want to see Korean films.
for example, there is that, but even I was surprised that Talking Heads stopped making sense. That hit with Gen Z. It hit a chord, no pun intended. It's a concert film from 1983, I want to say, and it was re-released because of the 4K release. It got a lot of young viewers going to see this, and to go see David Byrne and
Who's great.
their music, which is kind of like it's striking chords now with a generation that kind of is looking for something different. And that's the whole point. And then there are going to see other films like Poor Thing, Saltburn, whatever. Yeah.
One thing I could say about this year, the one disappointment as in box office wise, I think was The Creator. What a beautiful movie, I believe.
Love that film.
That confused the crap out of me. I guess maybe it just wasn't there for some people. Next year, the only movie I could think of, because we're getting a little break from superhero movies next year, which it probably does need. And if it comes back in 2025, like really hard, like, I mean, and it still doesn't make money, then that could be a great sign that maybe we do need to let go of this genre a little bit more before bringing it back.
Well, and we're getting two very odd ones next year, right? We're having Deadpool for the Marvel side
That,
of things.
there you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right?
Well,
well, the thing
correct.
is
we're
that
getting it. We're just getting that, and then we're
But
getting
that's
the
not really
joke.
a superhero movie to me.
Exactly.
It
And then we're
feels like
getting-
it's just like crazy.
I don't think the
movie.
problem is superhero
And
movies,
we're
though.
getting Joker 2,
Yeah.
which is not.
I think what we're looking for is, again, a nuance to our superhero films, which even Marvel did give us for years, and not like the basic, tropes of superhero.
Here's a hero,
cookie cutter.
here's the bad
and that's
guy.
because they cranked out so many.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I agree with you in terms of limiting it, because now we can get quality over quantity, and that stokes excitement again for each like as it progresses within their phases or whatever.
Yeah.
I think DC just, people knew it was a dying breed. So movies like The Flash, like Blue Beetle and Aquaman, were just gonna feel the burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 2024 for me, the only movie I could think about is Sonic 3.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see Shadow on screen. Let's go. But that's the only thing that I could figure. I hope it makes money like the past two. But other than it's all blank to me, because I don't even know what's people are excited for. It's hard to tell.
Well, that's what Hollywood's trying to figure out.
Yeah.
There's trends change a lot. I mean, Barbie became a trend in a little bit in a way. It became a movie to an event to a mega event where it just
To a shorthand.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people started doing the "Hi Barbie."
Every time I go to the theaters now, it's weird to me that I don't see someone in pink. Like
Yeah.
till
'Cause it
this
was
day.
such a thing. It was
like
such a
till
thing.
this day, I got so used to it. Like I'm like, where's all the? It's like I almost miss it in a way.
I'm usually wearing a fedora and a forlorn expression, but that's just me.
Oh, okay.
I'm in my bear onesie.
I
With an expression of what have I done?
I gotta say, props to those two studios that happen to place those movies together, because I think that was the most memorable movie-going experience I've had this year. Just seeing the two of those movies really kick ass, and just like everything else that opened up around it, I don't even remember.
Have you heard Margot Robbie sit down with Cillian Murphy?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I want to watch
Did
that.
they do that for
Is
GQ?
Is that
or
actors on
something?
actors?
Actors on
Yeah.
actors.
Okay.
It's great, and there's a really great moment where she talks about how the folks involved with Oppenheimer told the Barbie people, "You should move your movie date," and she was like, "You move your movie date. If you're so scared, you move it." and that's kind of how this like
Yeah.
playful rivalry formed, and it's just Cillian Murphy being like, "Brilliant, good move,"
Yeah. No, it worked because you got
Yeah.
Barbenheimer.
and it elevated both of them. It was so fun.
I don't know if you want to touch on the rankings of the studios.
Oh yeah.
this
Let's,
we
let's,
totally
let's,
can.
let's look
But
at that.
yeah.
Real quick.
I do find this interesting because in a year where we pretty much have said poor Disney, they're not what they used to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, see, it shows because they finally slipped after 8 years to second place by $100 million. That's
Those
it.
poor babies.
$100 million after all their troubles. And the winner, Universal, rightly so, okay. But they released, what, 8? I'm trying to do math here. 7 films more
Yeah.
than Disney. So that would have grossed them maybe, I don't know, $11, $12 million more on each of those films to take first place. That's a caveat on that second place. Then we see Paramount, who, well, now we know why they're probably going to get bought
Poor
out
buddies.
soon.
Aw.
But
Sorry,
but it is
Paramount.
kind
We
of
love
a
you.
interesting topic because we talk about how much Disney is failing or this and that, and it's like, well, yes, you could say that, but when you look at the numbers, it's only by like not even $100 million.
Yeah.
So
And one highlight of that is that Paramount actually released a Transformers movie this year, which usually gets them. I know it's been a downhill thing, but that's a property that I think years before they depended on.
Who was that? Who was that? That was Universal?
Rise
was,
of the Beast, Paramount.
Paramount.
Yeah, oh, Paramount, yeah.
And the year before they had obviously Sonic and then Top Gun.
Right.
So they were having these
Remember
bangers.
right after after the pandemic, we're like, wow, what is this Paramount? They're like soaring. They're the new.
Yeah.
They're the new.
There's always a shocking movie. Top Gun was a shocking movie at the box office. People didn't know people were going to go back, like the guys and like the sons or whatever, the fathers, whoever.
Yeah.
The people who loved the first Top Gun, who wanted that nostalgia, they went over and over. I saw Top Gun 3 times.
Damn.
And 2 of those times I didn't plan on. Actually, one was because 4DX had to see it. It was like one of the movies where I said, I got to see that 4DX. It worked. And then another time there was nothing else to watch during that time. So.
Yeah.
Also, something interesting, and this is the left brain of me talking, but you know, Warner Brothers is third place with 16 films. A third of that is Barbie.
Yeah.
So the other 15 films, that just goes to show you those DC films weren't really helping them at all. When a third of yours is one movie out of 16.
Yeah. Because it was what? Shazam, Blue Beetle, Flash,
Aquaman.
and then Aquaman. Yeah. So you got 4
Didn't really help.
duds.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So just goes to show you. So this should be eye opening to studios, and I think that's why they have moved on to Gunn. I think that's why Iger has removed the middlemen from Feige. I think they're agreeing that they need to, instead of expand, give us quality.
Yes.
So I do think good things are on the way in this genre, and I do think good things are on the way for these films, and I hope this is a new era of indie film.
I really
out.
do too.
Because
love that.
what I've seen so far, I've thought are really interesting. I mean, you can get like indie film, but it's like coming of age indie films or whatever. That was kind of big for a while, remember?
Yeah.
But I love that these films now are very interesting.
I'm also very excited to see next year that one film that no one saw coming.
What's that?
There's
right.
There's
Yeah.
always one,
Yeah.
and now I'm kind of ready for it. I'm like, which is gonna be the film that everyone says is gonna flop, or
what hits the zeitgeist
and goes
which is like,
beyond expected gross. I mean, it's happened every year. I mean, it doesn't have to hit $1 billion, but way more than what people thought. It's just amazing to me. It just shows you trends. You can't depend on trends anymore. You can't. It's just sometimes it's just a crapshoot.
Exactly.
You know? And these movies take so many years in planning. It's not like you could change your direction like right away. Like, oh, people are liking to watch this. Let's bring something like no. You have your slate and you have to stick with it.
And
you gotta fall by it too if they're gonna fall.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, it'll be an interesting year next year.
For sure. Well, y'all, let us know what you think about what 2024 needs to do to get butts and seats at theaters. How are movies going to work? What is going to compel people to go? What is going to drive the box office? Can we rely on old tentpoles? Do we have to dive into indie films? What do you think the solution is? Make Bob Iger talk to you. All right? Let us know.
He doesn't talk to us.
He doesn't talk to us. He's like, man, that Chris girl called me out about my yacht, and I don't like her now.
I'm pretty sure he voted for Chris as a dick. Yeah, I think
he
was
did vote for
35%.
Chris as a dick, yeah.
I can see Bob Iger telling people to shut up, but by taping $100 bill to their mouth. So I don't know. It just
Well, Bobby, money, please.
Yeah, please.
All right. With all that down, guys, we are going to get into your questions. We are going to start with our super chats.
That's right.
So what we got, Jonathan?
We got up first. I believe Calvin is first. He writes, "Hey guys, love the show. How long do you think we will keep seeing Victoria Alonso's name as exec on Marvel stuff? She was fired almost a year ago. I mean, that's got that'll be coming up. Yeah, until it runs out, and it is running out.
Yeah.
I mean,
It might be out.
we'll have to see for Deadpool now because we only have one Marvel film coming out this year. That could be the last.
I would imagine she's still on that.
I would imagine she's on Blade if it ever comes out.
Ooh.
So you may see a gap and then she pops up again.
If it ever comes
I was going to say, so the last thing that she has on here is What If.
Okay, that could have been it.
Oh, excuse me, Ironheart. She is still an executive producer listed on, and this is IMDb, so that could be wrong. So we still have a few more projects with her on there.
Yeah, when you release 10,000 projects, you're going to be on there all the while. Okay. Did I? Okay, we just did that one.
Yeah,
Kevin
Kevin.
Fraser says, "Get well, John," and props to you, Chris and crew. Thank you,
Aw,
man.
thanks, Kevin. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, and then Raymond Verada says, "Rest in peace, yeah, David Soul. Don't give up on us, baby." David Soul from Starsky and Hutch.
That's right. Okay.
Obviously, that was a series that I don't know if it ran into the early '80s, but it's definitely a '70s series. So, not a lot of this generation is aware of it.
No, because it was
But-
from 1975 and it ran for 4 seasons.
Okay, so '79.
Yeah.
So it
My
ended
mom
right
was
when
obsessed.
It ended right when I was born.
Aw,
Yeah, but yeah, it's a loss.
man.
Seconds from Disaster writes, has there been any movement on the Mortal Kombat sequel? I'm looking forward to seeing how they do Shao Kahn. They cast him perfectly.
I don't know if there
Ray
has
gasped.
been.
Ray has an expression on his face here.
I thanks for bringing this up. The other day, I don't know why I had Mortal Kombat in my mind. I went on YouTube and started watching reactions to the first trailer that they dropped, and I was just so happy because sometimes when I do that, I go back to when I saw the trailer. I didn't think the movie was that bad. There's one aspect of the movie I didn't care about, which if they left that part out, I thought it'd been a really good movie. Scorpion chasing Sub-Zero the whole time. The whole time. Forest, the snow, in lava. It doesn't matter. I would watch those two go at it all day. But they added this character, Cole. So, I haven't heard any movement. I'm looking forward to it because there's supposed to be Johnny Cage is supposed to be introduced, which is, if the character is played right, is going to be a ball to watch because he's so cocky. He's so like, man, I want to punch this guy in the face, but he's going to be on my side if I had to pick teams because he's a really dope character in the game. So I haven't heard anything. I wish I did. I think it has to do with Warner Brothers doing their little Zaslav coming in and, taking care and taking things out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that might have something to
Could
do
be.
with it. I haven't heard anything lately, to be honest. I would be on that.
The axe swings far and wide. It's hard to
Does.
say. All right, so we got Shamrock Vibes, who says the most anticipated TV series is now season 2 of Wolf Hall. I'm familiar with the history of Thomas Cromwell, and Mark Rylance portrayed him with incredible acting. I highly recommend watching the first season. Thomas,
Okay. I
What's it
had to
called?
do a Google of this. This is Wolf Hall on Masterpiece Theater with
Oh.
PBS.
I like Rylance.
I mean, Mark Rylance is amazing.
He was in Dunkirk, right? Which is
Yes,
a
and
good
Damian Lewis is in this too from Homeland. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So it's a period piece, the story of Thomas Cromwell. We've got Damian Lewis's King Henry. Ooh, okay. I will have to check that out.
Yeah, you'll probably
Very,
have
very
plenty
fun.
of British guys in there for you.
Yeah.
The lanky ones.
I
It's
love
probably
them.
all lanky.
I
British
love
guys.
them. Oh my gosh.
King Henry
Everybody.
VIII, yeah, okay. When he was beheaded. Oh, okay. So Thomas, now I was thinking Oliver Cromwell, Thomas Cromwell. He was, he worked for Henry VIII. There's a movie called A Man for All Seasons. It's an older movie,
Oh, I'm not familiar
and
with this.
it's about his relationship with Henry VIII. And I believe, we saw him in The Tudors, that character, or that actual
That
person
version,
that
yeah.
was portrayed. Yeah, so interesting. Okay.
Jonathan just released his Inner Rob right now.
I love history, man. I got a degree. in it.
Yeah.
Seconds from Disaster. Do you think Echo kills Vanessa off screen and that's why Kingpin is screaming, "What did you do?" Maybe that's why she's not cast in Daredevil.
Oh, she is cast in Daredevil though.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, she's not cast. It's they replaced the actress. So because that's not the same actress who we know is playing
That was
Vanessa,
Vanessa.
moving forward.
Oh, okay.
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
But he could be saying, "What did you do?" I mean, she shot him.
Yeah, for a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Maybe also she killed Vanessa. Who's to say?
That's cold. He got a new Vanessa.
Oh my gosh.
Clayton Youngkin with his two-parter. Hey, Chris, that's her.
Hey, Chris.
It's me.
X-Men 97 is his most anticipated show. Been more than 25 years since it aired. I'm wondering if it's possible to de-age the cast voices. When Adam West reprised Batman in the animated movies, you could really hear his age coming through and his performance, and it took me out of it.
That's a great question.
Well, Clayton, that is a great question. You can de-age voices. We've seen this with, the likes of Mark Hamill popping back up in The Mandalorian. However, so many of those people are seasoned voice actors. right? Not to say that Adam West wasn't. Adam West, though, iconically was known for playing Batman on screen. And then he obviously dived into my favorite voiceover is him playing himself on Family Guy as Mayor Adam West.
Yeah.
Most of the people who were in X-Men 97 are seasoned voiceover vets. They are fabulous, fabulous voice actors who have been working for decades and have beautiful control over their voices. So while they have aged, obviously, and while they may sound a little different, I think that it's probably still going to sound pretty on point with how they were originally. And I don't think it's going to be something that'll take me out of it. It might for you. And I can understand that with Adam West, but I love hearing those same familiar voices. And I also just am of the belief that we should, even though animation is timeless and it's a time capsule of how this character is always going to be, heck, they're almost always in the same clothes. I love the idea of letting our actors age gracefully and not making it so they have to fit this other blueprint.
And also, I cannot wait for X-Men 97.
So
I know every
pumped.
time I bring it up, I get shunned on the show. But you know what? I'm excited for it too.
Although I did start watching the original episodes.
Oh,
and they're great story-wise.
It
But when
aged,
you
right?
but
It
when you
aged.
watch it, you're like,
Yeah.
why are they always in the same clothes? And why
Well-
is it like certain things happen in that kind of like style of animation where you're like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You got to really suspend a lot of disbelief.
I
and
just
we
love the
started
way.
rewatching, and like
Yeah.
Logan would be like, "Why is that motorcycle on a roof?
Yeah.
How?
Or why is
How?
it colored more brighter than?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's about to move.
It's about to move."
What I loved about the X-Men series is there's so many superheroes that you could attach yourself to, different kinds, and they all had their little showcase.
Yeah, it's a cartoon, Brian.
They had a showcase. They had a little showcase of each of them.
It's a cartoon, Brian, as I'm going to bring up here, but they're
It's a
also
cartoon.
more like better cartoons. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's a cartoon is not, or it's a superhero movie, or it's a whatever. I still like it. You don't have to like be hurt by this. I like it,
He's not.
but I'm just saying, you know, when you rewatch it, there are a lot with cartoons nowadays, especially with like large IPs. They're a
Yeah.
little more careful with,
Well,
you know.
honestly, it's one of the things as a kid that I loved so much about Sailor Moon was, oh my gosh, they wear different outfits. Like they changed their clothes,
Oh,
and that
they
was
did.
yeah, and it was a '90s show, and no one did that. You
No
were
one
always
changed-
you
no
wore
one-
the same outfit, or you wore your superhero outfit, and those were the two things. Like Spider-Man did
Like
that. All
when
of
the
that.
mutants were discovering their powers, they were already in their like
They were,
almost
like,
their
suits.
superhero
You know.
outfits.
The
That's not a-
'90s were weird.
No, that's not as bad. No one ever changed the Muppet Babies diapers. They wore the same diapers, right?
Yeah.
I
I still love the scene of the opening of Muppet Babies when they open the closet and a TIE fighter's flying at them.
That show was great.
Yeah, I never knew that. I never.
Oh.
I
It's in
didn't
the
watch
opening credits.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Star Wars back then.
But what was I gonna say? Oh,
Let's move on.
just before we move on, on the topic of Adam West, if you guys like Adam West, even if you're on the fence, maybe we need to put up a poll here. But there's a great Adam West documentary called Starring Adam West. It will really make you appreciate the man. So
Ooh.
go see or find it somehow. Documentary starring Adam West.
What do you want the
Great
poll
documentary.
to be? Are you interested in this documentary? Are you not interested in this
No, it's
documentary?
Chris a
It's
dick.
Chris a dick. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay. 68%.
Bobby Jackson says, Happy New Year, BBC. Hi, Chris. When will you be doing more stand-up? You were great back in November.
Oh my gosh, Bobby Jackson, thank you so much. And thank you for saying hi when I did the stand-up. That was really nice. I hopefully will be doing more. I really liked doing it with all of Harloff's crew because everyone was just super supportive and kind to each other. And you don't always run into that, unfortunately, when you're doing stand-up. And it was a very nice community. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll do more of it in 2024. I definitely liked getting back out there. But thanks for going. I appreciate you.
Yay.
Yay.
And now we got Big Roy.
Big Roy.
Chris, again, when voice acting and translating from another language, should the artist respect the original source or add their own interpretation? Thanks.
Ooh, Big Roy. That's such a great question.
Yeah, it is. That's
Some inside
Ooh,
baseball right there.
Yeah. So there's kind of two schools of thoughts here. So you could be doing something in which you are matching what's called the mouth flaps, right? For lack of a better term, where you are trying to match the actual movement of a mouth. And so then you are already kind of matching the intention of the cartoon itself or the person who's speaking. So you are limited on your emotional choices because you're matching that image. Now, if it's an NPC kind of moment or you're off camera, that sort of thing, then you can kind of freewheel a little bit more. A lot of times, vocal choices, as far as tone goes, your director will talk to you about, yes, this character, we like that they have this pre-existing lower voice. Or sometimes that'll happen with me is just, yeah, it's an NPC. Make it sound different than the other characters you're doing, or make it sound different this way, or hey, you're replacing this voice, make sure it sounds like this cat. So there's a couple different things, but basically, if you are matching somebody on camera, just always make sure you are matching their emotional intention. All right?
All right, Big Roy.
Cool.
Dildar, the Glorious. I cannot wait for Echo. Have you guys seen the fight scene with Daredevil? It was awesome, but of course, certain YouTubers are complaining because woman bad.
I mean, woman bad.
They are the ultimate villain.
We're the
enemy.
apex predator.
Yeah, the apex predator.
Man, this lady.
Wait, but
my God.
have you seen the fight scene? Did they show like an extended cut of it? Because I've only seen what's in the trailer.
I was gonna
That's
say
like mere moments, seconds.
Daredevil
frames.
Echo fight scene.
You know what? I haven't, and I'm not going to until
I'm gonna
I see
watch
the
it.
show.
I'm
Until
gonna
I
watch
see
it
the show.
within.
I'm sorry. I gotta just wait. I'll just wait.
Yeah, this is something that seems to be. Oh, it was a leak that
Okay.
happened
Oh
2
yeah,
days ago.
no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I don't know. Kind of seems like if you're complaining about women bad, then you're scared of girls.
Yeah.
Raymond Verada writes, "Hope Joe Coy really meets Spielberg and at the Globes." LOL. Is that a thing? Did
Yeah.
Joe Coy wanted to.
It sounds like he's been pleading to meet him. Well,
Aw.
I'm not.
Oh,
even
yeah.
I'm not even gonna look into it. That's what it sounds like from his question. Maybe, if that's something that he's been very vocal about meeting Spielberg because he's a personal hero, an idol.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. I would love everyone to meet their favorite person in the world.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
it kind of reminds me of last year, and the cynic in me is like, how much of it was just kind of Hollywood faking it?
Yeah.
When, why can't everything everywhere all at once?
Coy. Yeah.
Ke Huy Quan.
Yeah.
He ran into Harrison Ford
Yeah.
at an event, and it's like,
Don't you
was
dare
that was
taint
that
that for me.
fabricated?
No.
And then when he ran into Spielberg and he gave him a hug, well, we made sure the cameras were right there.
Yeah.
Maybe they still hadn't met, but they were like, but also be aware of it.
Yeah,
so
maybe
maybe
they
it was a
held them
mix.
off. I don't agree
You never
that-
know what's organic and what's
Yeah,
not.
but
Yeah.
But I want to believe it was organic, and that's
you
fine.
just don't try to taint that. That's my
No,
favorite.
because I want to believe it's organic.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we live in this area, and we work within the industry. We know.
Yeah. Things are staged.
Yeah.
Or things are situated.
Yeah, situated.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll accept situated. Harry Bagel, just with some support. So thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Harry Bagel.
that sounds so,
If you get a Harry Bagel, by the way,
that sounds so gross.
thank him because he's supportive.
Does he trying to say that like a butthole?
Well, I really hope this isn't his actual name because he's never going to give us support again, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Andy writes, Happy New Year's. Hope John gets better soon. I've watched 107 films that came out in 2023.
Oh,
You don't have kids. And I'm adding 2 more today. Thank you so much for inspiring my love of film.
Aw, Andy, that's awesome. And also, yeah, that's so many movies. I don't have an excuse like you though of like not having
You watch more
kids.
movies than I have.
I am childless and just living my best life. Only seeing movies when I want.
Yeah.
Dang.
Dang, independent lady.
Yeah.
All right. Women scary. Women
Yeah, that's why
bad.
we're so scary.
Woman bad. Was that what
Woman
you said?
bad.
Andy, with a 2-parter this time.
All right, two
I realized on New Year's that this is the final year for me to live out my 20s. Well, 30s are great. So, is there any advice y'all can give me before I turn 30 on March next year? I haven't been out of state since I was 4, so I know I want to go to New York. I go to all the late night shows, particularly John Oliver. Hey,
that.
man, why stop at out of state? Go out of country.
Yeah.
Travel.
Absolutely. Travel's the best thing. New York is so fun, especially going to those late night shows. John Oliver, amazing. I had the good fortune of getting to see The Daily Show with Jon Stewart when he was still doing it one of the times I went to New York. That's always super, super fun. Man, I don't know. Your 20s, honestly,
They kind of roll into the 30s.
I think
so it's like,
I think one of the best years, I'm not saying it's the best, but one of the best years is 25 because you kind of have learned the ropes of your 20s.
yeah.
and you can rent a car.
And you can rent a car. You're a little older, making a
You
little more
learn
money than when
directions
you were
to
first
Pound
starting
Town.
out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you've done some travel. So you kind of have like your stuff getting together. Also, your brain has completed development
Yeah.
because your brain is not fully developed till you're 25. And then you got that next half decade, to enjoy yourself wisely. But man, when you turn 30, it actually feels really good.
Yeah.
You kind of feel like a little, and even from my age now, I'm like 30 so young, but you feel a little more distinguished. So enjoy your 30s.
Yeah.
Because once you hit 40s, it starts going fast.
Also,
30's
I hope you do all those things. I think. Do any of us have any
Travel,
goals?
man.
Goals this year? Like my most important thing is sometime next year I do want to take a train from California all the way maybe to Chicago or New York just to see.
I love traveling by train.
I have
love it
never
too.
traveled by train. on
The
such a
longest
long
I've done by
distance.
train was Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon.
I was just looking up that one.
Yeah, I want to do the one that goes up to Seattle because you go by the coast. But there's one they do where it goes all the way to Chicago and it stops maybe some New York. It goes all the way to Maine, I think, and it's like the Starlight or something like that. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
It's like $900 from the last I saw.
Dude, it's worth it. You get sleeping cars are cool.
I just
Yeah.
want to take in the USA.
Yeah.
Travel by
And then
train
you don't
is
have to drive, so it's
Yeah.
great. And the rails have great, like, man, you'll see some incredible views off the rails.
Yeah. They have they're supposed to
like
be
the highways are
tall
more built
windows.
for like to connect cities.
Yeah.
The rails can go wherever is most convenient, so you're going to see some great landscapes.
I'm only
So
scared
beautiful.
of tornadoes.
Why the odds of a tornado hitting you on the train
on
are
the train.
pretty
You
slim.
should be good.
Okay.
Should be fun. But yeah, Andy, your 30s are going to be great. 30s are fantastic. I got married at 30.
I think I was 34, 35 when I got
Yeah.
married.
You know,
But
just
30s are wonderful.
Yeah, just enjoy it. There's not gonna be. It's not gonna be like you're gonna wake up at 30 and be like, "Oh my God, my life is over."
You're going to be 30, flirty, and
Your life has
thriving.
just begun.
It's just gonna roll into it, man. There's nothing.
Your life has just begun because the things you can accomplish as you get older.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Age
just
is
begun.
just a number, baby.
I know. You can still watch Riverdale.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, you can. You can
Wait,
do
did I
reruns.
cancel it?
All of those actors were in their 30s.
Think of it. One
so-
day, you're gonna be that codgety old man in the rocking chair, and you're like, "I'm watching my stories," and it's gonna be Riverdale.
Riverdale.
In my day,
2024.
Veronica got to have a threesome.
This is a threesome scene. Shut up. All right. Everybody's favorite, Harry Bagel's back.
Yay!
BBC crew, will you take one when John retires? Take one what?
One when John retires. Will you
Will you take one?
Will we take like the show?
Like take one for the team?
Yeah. Oh.
Or like, will we take a show?
Or-
I mean, we might work together. I'd like to keep working together.
I'd like us
someday.
to keep working
Or does it
together.
have anything to do with the Harry Bagel? Will we take?
We take one. I'll take one.
I'll
For
ta-
$1.99,
No, I'll
I'll
never
take
take-
one.
no.
Thank you. Okay. Mike Hudspeth. If that was your last super chat, Harry Bagel, we appreciate
love you,
everything
Harry
you've ever done
Bagel.
for us.
Yes.
And we all apologize for Ray. Mike Hudspeth writes, I Googled BBC and Batman Beyond didn't pop up. Yeah, you want to know why? Because we're secret, bro.
Yeah.
We're not on Google. Come on.
Pop-up is an unfortunate turn of phrase there. Turn on safe search, my friend.
Yeah.
A monstrous pop-up is what we're saying.
You think
A
you think
terrifying
we're out there?
pop-up.
We're not even in the shadows. People think we're in the shadows. We
Oh,
are the
there's something in
shadows.
the shadows.
You think we're gonna be on Google?
We're in the shadows too. That.
Jeez, dude.
It's like wow. Yeah, let's go. Next.
Yeah, you got to at least use Yahoo search.
Also do incognito mode.
Jump
if you
on
ever,
Bing.
If you ever search BBC again, incognito
Incognito.
mode. Yeah, your history will be safe, I think.
Oh, I like this one from Max only. I Googled it and only saw the news. I'm sad.
No,
Sorry,
oh,
Max.
Or what if it's one of these things? Because I'm starting to find it's kind of annoying, kind of scary. I'll search for like a shoe, something to buy, and all of a sudden, if I'm searching my Reddit, the little ad there is the exact same thing. I was just
Oh, yeah.
searching. So what if his?
Those cookies.
I've literally
What if
thought
his-
things and it's come up on ads.
What if his is BBC like all over the place? And they're like, what the heck?
Well, look, hey, you search BBC now. You're going to be able to watch what's the award show?
The BAFTAs.
The BAFTAs.
Yeah.
It'll come up as an ad. So there
Listen,
you go.
we all search stuff. We all the same.
Yeah, we all the same.
We all the same.
You know, sometimes
All
just
right.
don't stack up.
Jay Loco says 12 hours into 2024 and the world got blessed with trailers for Mickey Mouse horror movie and horror game. We're lucky yet again with another movie coming soon.
Yeah, those
So
came out of
what are
nowhere.
those? Are they, is that
No,
because
no. The day after the copyright was lifted
Yeah.
off the Steamboat, there's a
They
horror
released
movie
it?
that they released and a game.
Did you ever play Mickey Mouse like Castle of Illusion?
You don't like that, huh, Chris? Chris
I
is
hate
shaking her
it.
head.
I hate it. I think it's such. This is my personal opinion, and you can disagree with
Okay,
it.
So they did a
no,
cool
we
little
welcome
blood
your
honey
opinion
thing?
sometimes.
I think that it's such low-hanging fruit to take iconic, family-friendly fare and then be like, and I'm going to make it horrific, disgusting, etc.
That'll
the
teach 'em.
Grinch, Blood, Poo, and Honey, like all of those kinds of things where it's just, I would rather you do something new and interesting with horror.
Wait. I think I see the ghost of Taylor saying, "Shut up, Chris."
I know.
He loves those things.
He loves them so much.
Shout out to Taylor once again.
Love
What's
Taylor.
up, man?
Love Taylor. He's in San Francisco right now. It's
Oh, he
David
is.
and his 6-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. on you two.
Yay.
Hope you guys have fun.
I love you, boys.
Yep.
Okay. Ron H says this week it's 2 times the BBC.
2 times.
That's right. Can't you handle it? Wait, can't you handle it? Yes.
Oh, this is gonna get
too
away from
much
you.
for some, but I loves it. It's a threesome of entertainment.
Oh,
Speak
Ron H.
a swinging good time. KY? I mean,
Oh,
for why?
boy.
Take it all in. And y'all get it? Pound Town
maybe-
represent.
Maybe he needs to do the stand-up.
Ron
He
H.
should
Wow.
he
Thank
should
you for
carry-
$14.75, by the way.
Thank you very
yeah.
much, Ron H.
You always are funny in the chat, and you're funny in super chats too, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, man.
Boy, I missed an opportunity. I could have read that like Kingpin.
yeah.
Oh, well.
You could have. Or in the Just a Baby voice.
Yeah, she's a baby. Well, you just
Oh,
got a
come on.
countdown.
That's not.
All right, Luis Enrique de la Peñas writes, Happy New Year, Batman Beyond crew. Tomorrow we celebrate the 3 Wise Men's Day, where everyone eats a special type of pastry known as Rosca de Reyes. It's good with hot cocoa. Nice.
Rosca.
Have you ever tried it? I'm going to look it up.
3
Maybe
Kings
I have.
bread. Oh, it kind of looks like king cake. Could I have sounded more southern saying
know.
that?
Y'all got
Gross.
cake?
There's a king cake? Sorry. Luis, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you know what? They sell this at Aldi.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I remember looking at it and it looks like oh, I'm on the 3 shot. It looks like conchas,
Oh, man.
which are like a Mexican pastry, but it's like, a ring or whatever. But
Oh,
yeah. I
people
don't
in
know.
the chat are saying that it is king cake.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well then, does it still have a baby in it?
Because
Well-
we said the same thing when we saw it. We're like, oh, it's kind of like a king cake or something. But-
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Then I guess I celebrate that every week. Because I love that stuff. Every time I go to like a Spanish market or whatever, I always buy at least one. Maybe that's why I'm so buff.
So buff. All
In
the
the
muscles,
stomach.
buddy. Do you guys do the king cake thing though?
No. But I will tomorrow. I will go to Aldi and go buy whatever this.
I mean, I would get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I love Spanish food. It's or Mexican food, whatever you want to call it.
Miguel Zayen says, "Hey y'all, RE the DCU. Which characters teams that haven't been announced by Gunn would y'all want to see, and in which form, film or TV? Film. I can answer that right now. I would love to see Tom King's new series, The Human Target, done in HBO. Thanks.
Ooh, and also Miguel, thank you for that $20 super chat. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Any thoughts?
What
Because I'm not
DC
as
team?
big as on. I'm within the Batman world, but not really beyond Batman.
I mean, I really want Constantine to take
Yeah, the
center
dark-
stage with
yeah.
Swamp Thing and Zatanna and all of them. I love the Justice League Dark characters. I would really like Booster Gold in the mix. And I know that Blue Beetle, we are continuing that actor, not necessarily that story. I really love the Ted Cord Blue Beetle who has the team up with Booster Gold. I think that'd be fun, and I feel like that's right up James Gunn's alley.
We're getting
Well,
the lanterns.
with
Yeah.
the Asylum series coming out, it really makes me want to see something like the video game Arkham Asylum.
Love that.
Not
game.
necessarily an adaptation, but inspired by
Yeah.
or take elements from that where he's trapped in the asylum. I know that's not necessarily a character. Beyond that, I've always been interested in the character Hush. We sort of got that with Riddler in a sense. It was a kind of inspired
Feels
by
like
Hush.
it, yeah.
But maybe, that was the Reeves universe. Maybe we could see it in the Gunn DCU Hush or something like that.
For
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
That I actually, sorry, that I
Yeah.
could see as a HBO style like series.
Yeah.
I guess.
it's really tough because we've gotten some DC team things on CW, and some of them didn't work out, and some of them did. It all. I really want to see the Superman legacy just to see where James Gunn is going to take this new DC. Before I can actually say what teams, because he might have a style that's not fitting to the teams that I would want to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what he does. I'm very excited. I mean, I think all of us are a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Superman has never been my favorite, but just knowing James Gunn is going to take control.
Yeah, I'm
of him,
excited. And
I'm actually looking at Superman figures right now.
Well, and also
Sentry is looking at me and he's like, "I'm going to slap your face."
But I mean, even
Damn.
like some of the cool concept art we've seen with Corn Sweat.
Yeah. Looks
yeah,
good.
looks great.
Looks
Yeah,
very,
we're all
very good.
set. We're just waiting, Mr.
Yeah.
Gunn.
Oh, and then obviously we want Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Give us Terry McGinnis. Give us Old Man Wayne.
BBC.
And frankly, give me Jason Todd, but while he's still Robin, and kill him, you cowards.
Oh,
Do it.
bet.
Do
Bet.
it.
Spoiler, it isn't actually.
I would love to see
I
that.
mean, yeah.
Bet.
Okay. Also, I forgot to mention, thank you so much for the $20 super chat, Miguel. And then Christ Courage with the $10 super chat. Chris, if you could be in any show or movie and you could pick your role, what would it be? For me, it would probably be Lothar from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. It's very specific. He's the main villain.
Ooh. I really wanted to be Janet in The Good Place. Every
thought you
time
were
I
gonna
see
say,
Darcy, I love that.
I thought you were going to say Janet from Rocky Horror. Damn it,
Damn it, Janet. I love
Oh,
you.
you could play a Janet?
I could do Janet. I could be Janet. I've done musical theater. I'd love to be Squirrel Girl. Y'all know this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to be Rogue, but Kiki Palmer is a way better choice. I don't know. I would just like to work. I would have really liked to be in
To work, just
I would
work.
like to. I
It
would
is
like
funny
to
when you-
have jobs.
It's funny because most non-actors would have this like, oh, I'd love to do this, or that. And it's
Yeah.
like, but when you actually ask an actor, they'd be like, well, I want to work.
I would like to be on a show.
Yes to all of that.
Yeah. Stranger Things would have been something I really would have liked, and I'm
Oh,
really
wow.
bummed that oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name right now? Glow. I got to audition for it once, and then that show got canceled, and I really, really wanted to be on Glow. I loved that show.
I hate to hijack this chat, but can we go back to that Rosca de Reyes?
oh, please
question?
do. Let's talk about Brad.
No, I'm just saying. If you have the time right now, look up frosted cream puff Rosca de Reyes, and don't tell me you don't want that thing in your mouth.
Okay, so Mike Joyce says, The Holdovers is so good, such a heartwarming movie. All three of the main characters give great performances and should get Oscar noms on Peacock now.
Put it in your mouth.
Ray's just
That
staring
looks
at this
amazing, man. They got like little pistachios. Sorry, let's give respect to the person. who
Yeah,
said
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited to see the holdovers.
I am
and I'm
excited
so
to
glad
see
that-
the Holdovers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had seen Mike Sideways, same director, team up with Paul Giamatti. Sideways is like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's in the list of top 20. I've got to be. So I'm excited to see this. I know it's a
That's a
totally
good
different tone, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of Giamatti, San Andreas. He was in San Andreas.
Right.
And speaking
Oh,
of
yeah.
that, did anyone feel the earthquake?
We did.
Yeah.
Shamrock Vibe says Saltburn is shocking and cringy. It's a good movie. You're better to stream it as you can hide behind your cushions. Rosalind Pike deserves a nomination.
Ooh, okay, excellent.
Yeah, and I would even say something like Poor Things is like don't watch a mixed company.
Oh.
So
There's Saltburn, but there's the movie that you guys brought up in the nominations, Zone of Interest.
yeah.
There's, without knowing anything about it, there's never been a title I think that had me interested in figuring out what it's about.
You know what's funny?
Other than that, it's a great title, I think.
I actually had the opposite. So when I first heard Zone of Interest, I was like, oh, that sounds like some cheesy like streaming action film.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
And then I found out more about it. I'm
it
like,
seems
oh,
like
okay.
territory to me. Like, oh, this is my land, and this is what I'll look it up to see what it's about. I'm probably really wrong.
We got Dildar, the Glory. New anime recommendation is called Delicious in Dungeon, about going through a dungeon eating monsters. It's weekly on Netflix. The actress is Nami on the OP live action.
One Piece.
Is doing her first anime role.
Oh,
Oh, great.
So they're eating the monsters in the dungeon?
Yeah. It's like cooking mama with dungeons. Maybe. I added it to my queue. I don't know anything about it except for that there's food and dungeons.
All right.
And it's an anime.
And then wrapping up our super chats,
That's a
simply
triangle
from
right there.
Dr. Stinky, $1 in support. We appreciate all your guys'
Thank you so
support.
much, Dr. Stinky.
And we can move over to our wonderful, I'm going to refresh here real quick, member questions. If you guys become members or someone gives you a membership, you can ask questions over here and we'll answer it.
Yeah.
Here they are. Mista47, no question. Love you guys, and thanks for all you do. Happy belated New Year and Christmas.
Oh, thanks, Mr. 47.
Yeah, and Alan says, "Happy Friday, Chris, Jonathan, and Ray. What are some movies you're all looking forward to seeing this year?"
Sonic 3.
Sonic
I mean,
3.
okay, so that and
That's
definitely
it.
for me, like Dune 2 and Deadpool. I mean, is like, but it's a ways off.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for some more films to be like announced in in between those two tentpoles.
Yeah.
You know,
Did Wicked come out this year?
I'm not sure.
I hope so.
But you know
If
what's
Wicked,
weird
then
about why we're having struggling, or maybe for me at least, is we don't have a lot of the Marvel films out. So now you got to really look into those schedules and
Yeah.
stuff.
We got to go watch those hoity-toity movies.
It's almost like we have to learn to function without Marvel
Yeah.
or
I know.
DC. It's like an addiction. You know what I mean? We got to get off of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some great movies. Did he say what he was excited
No,
for?
he didn't.
No.
See, that's my one gripe. I know you guys have only
Just put it in our laps.
another an amount of lines that you could type in, but try to just show me. 'Cause
no,
I want to
dude.
know about you too. Like what are you?
That's the fun
doing?
thing is that if you become a member, you can write as many lines as you want.
Yeah.
We won't
Come
answer everything, but you never know. Although we do try to shy away from huge paragraphs because it
Yeah.
does take up a lot of time.
Yeah, those are only reserved for Andy.
Yeah.
So Zelda Master writes, Chris,
Chris.
what did you think of the Doctor Who Christmas special? I thought Nakuti did amazing and loved his chemistry with everyone, but especially with Millie Gibson. May cannot come soon enough.
Yeah, Zelda Master, we talked about this a little bit yesterday too. I loved this special so much. Scooty is so wonderful on this. Shooty, excuse me, is so wonderful. I think he's going to be such a great doctor, and I'm really excited. Really liked Millie too. She did great as Ruby. It's gonna be a fun season starting in May, and it is being marked as like season 1 of Doctor Who. You can jump in right there, or you can start at the very beginning, back 60 years ago.
All right, so we'll run through some of these a little quicker. But we got CJ Rebirth. Chris, are you familiar with Demon Slayer anime?
Yes.
Finally binge watched it last year in the fall and loved it. Hilarious, emotionally, and beautifully animated. And this year, we're getting a movie and new season.
We are getting a movie, which means I need to catch up because I am woefully behind on Demon Slayer. It is one of my friend's favorite shows, and I have only seen a couple episodes, but it's really delightful. A bar that I used to go to in NoHo, it used to be the 513. It's changed now. It's now Kantiki. But the 513 used to do Demon Slayer Sundays, and it wasn't an actual thing. It's just this real cool bartender there just wanted to watch anime while she was working, and that's where I would usually watch it.
Oh, that's just another place that Chris doesn't tell people.
Do
about.
you want to drive down to North Hollywood on a Sunday and have a drink?
What was the place?
Block?
Well, it was 513, and now it's Kantiki. Kantiki's
Silence.
cute.
Block.
Because there's also like Tiki No. That's
Tiki
another
No is really good too. Yeah.
North
No,
Hollywood.
I'm just kidding, Chris.
All
I
right,
haven't seen
Dildar, not such glorious Dildar, I guess. Nice to see the BBC together again. I missed it. I need more BBC in my life. LOL. How was your New Year's?
it. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
How are your New Year's, guys?
know. Well,
you know,
we're 5 days in. So.
Yeah.
yeah.
What'd you
so
do
good.
for New Year's Eve?
I sat outside in the freezing cold air with my dog Lola as she was panting and pacing.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
she
the
hates
fireworks.
and
Oh.
screaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I had both my dogs right here, and then I fell asleep at 10. I don't. It's like okay, like there's some like 4th of July and things like that. You know, America, a-okay, right? But
Yeah, but I'm
there's
sick
some-
of 4th of July and New Year's.
Yeah, as soon
with
as
fireworks.
I'm getting older, it's like there's things that like I don't mind skipping. Like I'm not out in the street like in Vegas, like hanging off a street sign or whatever like that. You know, I mean, I think those days are done. I don't know. Maybe someone needs to bring it out of me, but I was fine sleeping at home.
The recovery from those days at our age takes
It's
a lot
too
longer.
long.
It's like a 3-day recovery, whereas
I was
before
gonna
I was
say.
good 3 p.m. on the dot the next
Yeah.
day.
Like
Now it's like 3 p.m. a week later.
I didn't party, but I stayed out late, and I like actually late, not Chris Carr late. I left Tiffany and Travis's party at 9:30. Went to my friend Mia's at Desert 5 spot, and stayed there. And I couldn't get a lift home till almost 3 a.m. It took me 2 hours to get a lift. And so I was just miserable. But it was an open bar party, and your girl's smart. And while everyone was getting their stupid Red Bulls and vodkas and shitty spicy margaritas, I got top shelf scotch.
There you go.
We played a win.
All right, let's do 3 more here. Christian Rodriguez says, I know it isn't much, but man, that little teaser for Arcane Season 2 got me hyped. Have a good day,
Whoa.
BBC.
What?
What?
So there's
What?
Arcane Season 2.
I haven't seen Arcane season 1, but I know everyone loves it.
5 hours ago. What?
Whoa.
Huh? I'm just gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm looking at it.
Well, while we're also looking at that, Matt says hello. Simply says no question. Just want to shout out BBC. You're all amazing.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Also, while she's watching that, I like to bring up that I watched Sonic Prime.
What is it on?
I'm sorry, I had a candy cane in my mouth. All right, Sonic Prime.
What's it on?
free.
What's it streaming
It's
on?
Netflix. It has Shadow in there, and I kind of like it. It's cute. It's for kids. It's definitely for kids. But you know what? It's gonna prep me for Sonic 3. But anyways, Chris, I don't know what to say.
Well, that's all right because I'm gonna go back and while she's still watching that.
No.
J Superboy
Can you
friends.
zoom in on our eyes while she's watching?
Sure.
J Superboy says, "Hey y'all, happy New Year!" So new trailer for Echo came out. Did it just confirm Netflix Daredevil's canon? Well, yeah, it definitely
Yes.
does. Yeah.
And is it me or Daredevil's looking slim in that? Like his suit
Oh,
is
he's
more-
looking good.
He looks great. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jesse has a turtle says, "What bad movie from last year would you add to the National Film Registry?" What bad movie?
Oh my God, Expendables. I think
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It's Expendables.
we watched.
It's not even Meg 2. It's Expendables.
You know what? I would watch Meg 2 if someone said, "Hey, I haven't seen it," and they really want to see it. I would watch Meg 2. Expendables, I'd be like, I'm gonna go cook some food.
I didn't see it, so I can't weigh in. But I'll take
Yeah,
your.
is there
I'll
a
take your
bad movie?
opinion.
What was or a bad
I mean-
disappointment? Your disappointment.
Disappointment?
We'll say
Ooh.
disappointment then.
Renfield disappointed me. I expected that to be
Really?
better, but that's also not like the bad movie I'd push forward. I didn't like Flash. I know that
okay,
and other people
that,
did.
That could be considered
Yeah.
disappointment.
All right. And then for a final, although you still need to answer this about Arcane if you can.
Oh yeah, it looks really messed up, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm seeing. Honestly, I gotta rewatch this a couple times with sound.
Do the characters look familiar there?
No,
okay.
no, it's somebody like with an
so-
IV, and then there's
We'll
a
put a
big
pin
guy
on it.
hanging over. Yeah.
Put a pin on it.
Oh, and now the sound's on.
Okay. Well, you know what?
I'm a professional. Under 5 seconds though, so we're not gonna get demonetized. Woo!
Yeah. as long as the sound didn't come on from another video.
All right. Where was I gonna go here? There was one other question. It was
Okay.
about a trailer.
Well, keep watching.
Well,
Chris.
it was about Love Lies Bleeding, but now I can't find it, and I feel really bad. Oh, here we go.
there we go.
Okay, got it. The Brandon Salad. Hey crew, have you seen the trailer for Love Lies Bleeding? Looks super interesting with Kristen Stewart. I did see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at first I was like, oh, what is this, like a roller derby like movie, like in the first few seconds or something? But yeah, I can't tell if it's. I honestly don't know what it is. It does look interesting because I don't know if it's going to be like tongue in cheek or if it's going to be just super dark and depressing or what we're getting in it, but it definitely looks interesting. There's definitely some murder in it and intrigue. Yeah, and it looks like they're out in the desert.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like they've all had some hard lives. So yeah, looks interesting.
Sweet.
All right.
All right. Is that it for our members
That's it,
today?
man.
That's it.
Well, and then that is it for our show. Thank you so much for being here because without you, we can't do this. It's just Ray being mad at me and Jonathan trying to keep the peace. So thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody in the room. Mr. Ray Ora.
This looks amazing. Frosted cream puff, Rosca de Reyes. I'm going to make it. No, everyone have a good weekend. Thank you for all the questions. Thanks for the support.
We got Jonathan Voico.
You do have me for a few seconds more. I'll see you guys next week.
I'm Chris Carr. I'm going to do a shameless plug. If you are interested in voiceover, head over to speakfriendstudio.com. We are starting group classes next week. My husband does dialect coaching. I do commercial voice acting classes. We're also going to do Dungeons and Dialects this month. We've got lots of cool stuff going on, so go check it out. I've been Chris Carr. Thank you so much for being here. Please be kind and have a great weekend.
See ya.